Hello, this is Sage the Balloon Sage, and my series of deluxe original balloon bracelets continues with a wave-jumping dolphin on a brightly colored base, creating an abstract yet effective beach scene aesthetic, evocative of a happy little dolphin splashing in a sapphire ocean on a warm, sunny day. This dynamic design begins with a single 160 balloon that we transform into an adorable little dolphin that works on its own as a balloon bracelet, ideal for fast line work. With the addition of a sapphire blue 260 base and a clear 160 scrap, the advanced model features a technique which gives the appearance of the dolphin leaping playfully out of the ocean. Once you have the main techniques down, it's time for us to create the deluxe dolphin bracelet model with a gorgeous blue agate 11-inch round balloon and a pair of fiery neon orange and yellow 260s. The one balloon dolphin begins with a 160 inflated more than halfway, but not too much more. And we start by twisting off a little bubble. We're going snout first, building from the head to the tail. We pinch it off. This is the bottom jaw, you can say. So then we make a little bit of a bigger bubble and nice flat pinch twist as well. We move on to the shape of the head, which is a 3-finger cylinder twist, about this way, matched up, paired up I guess I should say, and tied back into this focal point right behind the pinch twist, so everything's kind of tied into there. The top of the head is a little bit longer because it gives it that classic dolphin head shape that we all recognize immediately, so kind of stretch it out, make it a little more malleable. This piece will be a bit bigger than the 3-finger cylinder twist we did before. Now this is probably the hardest part of the design, and it helps when you're pushing through like a standard bird body to start with the forehead. It's a little bit easier. So you gotta push the forehead through. Oh, that's through. You kind of roll the rest of that. Oh, seems like it's gonna pop, but it didn't. Now you pull this part of the forehead, and there you have the perfect dolphin head shape. Now onto the pectoral fins. A 3-finger cylinder twist, a tiny bubble, and a 1.5-finger cylinder twist. Kind of soft, coming back up. Basically just half the size of this one. Pinch off that bubble into a nice flat pinch twist. We do the same thing on the other side. 3 fingers, small bubble. You can pinch off here. And a 1.5-finger bubble. Links up and gives you a good pair of pectoral fins. Onto the dorsal fin now with a 4-finger cylinder twist. Like that. You can kind of curve it if you like. Again with the tiny bubble. Pinch twist. And you come back down with about half of the cylinder twist you start with. So, in this case, 2 fingers. Tie it all into this high traffic area right behind the head. Everything kind of hangs out right there. Let's put the fins on the side and adjust the dorsal fin. Perfect. Now onto the body, which, you guessed it, more cylinder twists. In fact, this is a 4 to 5-finger cylinder twist. It just depends on the look you're going for. And another pair of these tiny flat pinch twists, which of course start out this little bubble, pinched flat, and you wind the rest through. Now the tail, this might surprise you, but it's cylinder twists, a 3-finger cylinder twist in fact, with a little bubble. This is the point where you really have to make sure you're conserving your air and controlling the end of the balloon so you have enough to finish it off. You pinch the little pinch twist, a little bubble, so if this is 3 fingers, of course this will be 1.5. As we always go for half on the fins. And in this case, the fluke. We have just enough to finish the tail with a 3-finger cylinder twist, a little bubble that turns into a pinch twist, and this is a little too much, but even if you have a ball left over, you can kind of stick it in. So we'll tie the final portion in, and tie the ball behind here, and then just adjust all the portions of your dolphin. With the pinch twist, I kind of like to have them going with the flow and shape of each fin, so I kind of flatten them out and make them follow that direction. If you've watched any of my previous deluxe balloon animal tutorials, you'll probably notice that I love to use a technique called 3D eyes. Now this is just a small scrap of 160, barely inflated. You have a round bubble, a knot, a bit of slack, one more knot, and finishing with a round bubble. And you simply just put it in one side, pull it out over here, and adjust the eyes to make it as cute as you can. Let's get our dolphin in the water with the advanced model. Starting with a Sapphire Balloon 260, inflated about halfway, we're going to be making a series of 6 sort of soft, petal twists. This is just a standard bracelet base that I teach very often, so I'll do it fast. There's a petal twist. Kind of tie it through twice. You don't even have to knot it, but as long as it goes through twice, you can move on to the second petal. I kind of like to corral them as best I can as I go. It's a little tricky to get the same size each time, but with practice it becomes easier and easier. So, there's the 5th, tying it through, and the 6th petal twists, breaking off the extra, winding it right through, and friction takes care of making the balloon leak-proof in this shape. Just barely inflate a clear 160. Tie the nozzle right into the base, keeping this in line, of course. You may want to push down a bit. And once you have a nice, you want this really full in contrast to the malleable part. So actually, I'm just going to push all the way down. I'm going to tie this and take my scissors, snipping off, but making sure I have enough of a tail scrap to tie the dolphin on top. There's a convenient little divot right here on the dolphin's, I guess, chest, and that's where we tie in the strap of the clear. Tie it around a couple of times. You'll have some extra, and if you want, you can just hide it inside of the dolphin's head, maybe, or you can cut it off too. It depends on how much time you have when you're making it. And there you go. It's as simple as that. On to the main event, the Deluxe Dolphin Balloon Bracelet model. Now you may have noticed I haven't shown you how to put straps on them yet. I will at the very end of the video. I wanted to get all the models out of the way first, and then I'll show you how to make them perfect bracelets. For now, you're going to take a scrap of, well, any 260, and you may be familiar with this technique. We're going to be making 5 knots, one on top of the other, and this knotted up piece of balloon is actually going inside of the agate. That's how the dolphin is held on. So once you have 5 knots and you cut off the sides right here, take that knot and drop it into your 11-inch round agate balloon. This happens to be my favorite balloon of any in existence. Now that you have that inside, inflate 2 full pumps. 1, 2. About like that. And tie it off. Locate the knot from the outside in. Grab it right on the, well, what would be normally the top of the balloon, so it lines up with the nozzle. Grab a scrap of gray 160. You'll probably have a couple of those laying around. If you had as much trouble with this design initially as I did, this was a tough one. Tie it, and just to be sure, you're going to want to tie one more time, and you have that little protrusion, perfect for attaching the dolphin. While the advanced model uses a 6-petal base, the Deluxe model challenges you to create one with 8, having the added benefit of a more condensed alternating color scheme. And we start off with orange and yellow, inflated about halfway, tied together at the nozzles. And here we go with 8. It's really hard to wrangle 8 of these, but it can be done, so let's see. 2, 3. Make a couple of each color. Make sure they're all the same size as well. They can be off a little bit, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to finish off the orange, so we can get rid of this. Soft, tie it through, friction, will take care of everything. Back over to the yellow. The last 2 are the hardest, so you kind of have to really force your way in there. Hey, get out of my way. And there's the 7th. This one over here. 8th and final. This one you might want to make a little bit softer than the others just to make sure it doesn't pop out. But we're tying it through. We're breaking off. Let you go. Again, all the way through the center. And then just alternate those petals. Orange, yellow, orange, yellow, orange. Last one's always the toughest. Get in there, you. Orange, yellow. It'll be a lot easier once you put the sphere on top. Take your agate by the nozzle, spread 2 of the petals, and just pull it in through the side into the center, pulling down pretty tight. You want it nice and flush so it'll hold those petals in place. Just tie it through a couple more times. Put them into place there. Okay, beautiful. I am really loving this ocean wave effect from this blue agate. As I take the dolphin, take the tail scraps on top of that agate, and tie him on. Pulling those scraps, tying it through. You actually want to get under the knot and wrap it around a couple of times as well. That'll make sure it's 100% secure. Dolphin may come out of sorts there for a second. We'll tie it around the head. Hide that scrap position for your dolphin. And there it is. As lovely as these models are, they're really meant to be bracelets, so I want to teach you how to do that. You can pretty much do it all the same way, all three models, with a uninflated 260. I like to put a puff of air in there. Not inflating it, but when it's rounded off like this, it won't get all tangled up on the kid's wrist most of the time. So you tie it here, take one end, go to the bottom of your base on all three. There is one variation here. I actually tie the 260 from the center to the tail, only on the one balloon, but you could also do the exact same thing I'm doing here, right in the center right there, which is continuing by making sure it's secure in the center. These petals, you still got to wrangle them, and you have this part coming out. You measure size of the wrist, and at this point you're going to make another knot. This will trap that air in there, so when you cut off the extra, there won't be any deflation of this chamber right here. So tie it right in. Maybe to the other side, that would help. Grab those petals. It's really tricky with the 8-petal version, but it's worth it to show. So you know what you get yourself into there. And cut off the extra. And you're ready to impress your customers with this amazing wearable. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like this 3-in-1 design, and you wouldn't believe the other bracelets I've got on my channel, so you should definitely check out Balloon Sage. Thumb up this video, and I'll see you on the next tutorial.